Western Australia now, where financial counsellors are in high demand from a new group of people seeking help. Their core clientele used to be battlers, but these days they're just as likely to see formerly middle to high income earners, many of whom are casualties from the end of the mining boom. Unlike Sydney and Melbourne's property bubble, house prices in the West have fallen while unemployment and cost of living expenses have increased. It's a perfect storm for property investors who sunk their money into houses at the height of the boom. Claire Moody reports.
Not so long ago, Western Australia was riding high on the back of a once-in-a-generation resources boom.
Perth was booming along, and the East Coast was on its knees, probably struggling at that stage. It's the complete reverse today.
In fact, I'll be honest with you, I've been losing sleep. We now confront the worst set of finances since the Great Depression.
The pains being felt in homes across WA's regions and suburbs of Perth.
People have had their income slashed to 10-20% of what they were normally being paid, and they're having to meet enormous payments.
Up until 2 years ago, Brad Wright was working as an engineer on various major resource projects.
My earning capacity would have been in the order of $250,000 a year plus.
Now, unable to find work in his profession, he's doing night shift as a security guard while trying to sort out a complex financial mess that started after he took out loans on 2 investment properties. How easy was it to get the money that you needed?
Easy as buying an ice cream. It was that simple. We were quite shocked because once we needed close to $1 million, and it was just a low doc loan that pretty much was approved within 24 hours.
The apartments have since been sold at a loss, and he's now trying to save the family home in an upmarket suburb of Perth.
We've been left with up to $90,000 of bills, and we have no money to service all of our other creditors. And on top of that, the stress of me trying to deal with the bank and try to get some sort of fair or reasonable solution from them has been, it's almost pushed me to the point of suicide. I'm not bullshitting. It's been really tough.
Tell me what's going on.
Lifeline's reporting increasing numbers of West Australians facing financial stress.
Are you renting or do you have a mortgage?
And there's a long waiting list for counselling from a new post-resources boom client base.
A lot of clients, not necessarily here, but in the general, will use credit cards to maintain their mortgage payments, their electricity, council rates and whatever. So when we see them, the debt has risen more than if they had come in the first instance.
Incomes doubled across 70 postcodes during the boom years. Now WA has the slowest economy in the nation and a record rate of underemployment.
That is at a historical high, almost 10%, more than a full percentage point above the national rate. And of course, underemployment means that the household isn't getting quite the income growth that they were when they were fully employed during the boom.
Compounding the problem is the state's struggling property market.
They say on the top end of Perth, on a quiet day, you could hear the property values falling, and the property values in the top end of the market are probably off 30% from where they were at the peak of the market in 2008.
So Claire, we're 3 minutes from the beach here, 5 minutes from a regional shopping centre.
Prices are also down on the urban fringe. There's been an 18% drop over the last decade at this suburb near Mandurah, south of Perth.
The air conditioning is ducted evaporative, nice al fresco area out the back.
So all this for $399?
Office from $399.
That's pretty cheap.
It is good value. We could get you in here inside a month, Claire.
Real estate agents are keen to talk up the positives.
We've just come off a 12-month period which in many suburbs of Mandurah has shown the lowest number of sales, the lowest volume of sales for 20 years. So it's a very good time to be a buyer out in the marketplace.
But with high unemployment, the area is also tipped to have one of the worst rates of mortgage stress in the country. Daniel Johnston is close to losing his investment property.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
He bought it as a joint venture with relatives in 2007, but plans to develop the block fell through. Now they owe $500,000 on a house that's only worth $350,000.
Well, we've used part of the equity in our home for interest repayments on this investment. And I mean, it's certainly, we're at a stretch to pay for the home and living costs, let alone this one, you know. And the problem is that our home's actually listed as security on default as this for this loan, so that's our main concern.
During the construction boom, thousands headed here from overseas and interstate to work on the mines. Now in the production phase, companies have shed staff and workers have returned home.
Well, it means that now we've got an oversupply of dwellings, whereas during the boom we had an undersupply, so the price has fallen, rents have fallen.
For many, the headwinds look set to continue for some time. Brad Wright claims he's being harassed several times a day by his bank.
I really don't know what we'll do if this house is sold, because we will be basically kicked out in the street with just the clothes we're wearing, with substantial debts.